downtown. Okay. At first, they made no provision to bury the dead, so they buried the dead wherever they could, including downtown, because it gets really hot down here. You know that.
Yep.
And we have the opposite problem from up north. They have to wait till the ground thaws to bury people. We have to bury people, especially in the old days, real quick because they smell. And we don't have embalming until about the middle of the American Civil War, so about 1863. Okay? Yeah, we gotta watch it. People cut through here.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to, but they do. This is for if you're coming to a funeral or you're coming to visit. Yeah. Now, so if you've been walking around downtown Galveston, you've probably been walking on some old bones. Okay?
Sure we have, yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot. That's the same for a lot of towns. Finally, in 1839, Galveston creates this cemetery. This is Old City Cemetery. This is the oldest cemetery on Galveston. Okay. Now, they also create another cemetery right next door. Today is called Oleander, but in the old days it was called Pottersfield. Y'all know what that is? For the poor and indigent. Okay. So all I'm telling you is most of the stuff I'm telling you that is general like that is gonna serve you for ghost hunting. Okay. Now, 5 years later, in 1844, the Episcopalians buy that and turn it into Trinity Episcopalian Cemetery. Okay. Then the Catholics, they have to buy land to have their own cemetery. So did the Jewish. By this time, Galveston is growing. So Galveston creates 2 more cemeteries at the end called New City and Evergreen. So 3 religious cemeteries and 4 city. Now, in the city cemeteries, we would bury anybody of any faith. So sometimes in the city cemeteries, you'll find a Jewish tombstone or a Catholic one. Okay? Now,
They still bury people here?
no. Okay, well, let me preface that by saying if you have bought a family plot 60 or 75 years ago, or even 50, and you have a empty burial plot spot, yes,
Okay.
because our last burial was June of 2024.
Oh,
Okay.
recent though.
Yeah, but that family had bought that
Right.
plot, that estate, probably 50 years ago. Now, so I'm going to show you the oldest cemetery grave and the newest. Okay. Now, because of that horrific hurricane, we built that seawall, but we get no federal funds to build it. The citizens and the city have to raise the funds themselves, so we have to build it in stages. Okay. The first one we build is 3.5 miles long. It's built from 1902 to 1904. Okay. Now we built it 3.5 miles long, and we built it 17 feet tall because we do not want to see storm surge
Right.
in downtown again. The next time you're walking downtown, look up at the 2nd-story windowsills. That's how high the water came.
Yeah. Somebody's
Okay.
told me that before. I've
Yeah.
actually seen that. Yeah.
And as people, if you were stuck downtown, you ran up to the 2nd story.
Right.
And as you're watching in the window, we're all fascinated. People that were floating by, they try to pull them in,
Right.
alive and dead, because back then everybody wanted a good death.
Right.
Now, a really good death was dying in your own bed, in your own room, in your own house, with your children and your spouse and family around you. But at least you want to be identified and buried in sacred ground, a cemetery.
Right.
Okay. Now, so almost all those buildings in downtown are haunted. They all have at least probably a couple of spirits because they were all temporary morgues for the 1900 hurricane. Okay. Now, those
Yeah,
people
I don't know
shouldn't
if
be
it's true,
there.
but I'd heard something about like one of the buildings, at least one of the buildings downtown, where they were like just having to stack the bodies.
Yes,
like,
yes.
up, you know.
Yeah. So you can imagine that some people are. I know it's getting warm, isn't it? Now, so every few years we'd raise more money and add to the seawall, going east and west. Now we built it 17 feet tall. It doesn't look like that now because the city has added sand to